My beloved child, something sacred is happening around you right now, and the heavens have pushed this message into your hands at a very precise moment. This is not a coincidence, this is not an accident, this is divine appointment. God wants to talk to you for 2 minutes right now because your pending miracle has been approved. Yes, the spiritual stamp has already been placed. The seal has already been broken. What you have been waiting for, crying for, praying for, and almost giving up on heaven has finally said why yes. And Archangel Michael stands beside this message as a witness. He whispers, "You opened this at the exact second your spirit was ready. What you feel right now is not confusion, it is spiritual activation. Something is shifting in your atmosphere and you can sense it like a soft trembling inside your chest. That is the vibration of an answered prayer entering your timeline. My dear one, listen carefully. Heaven has watched the nights you held your tears quietly so no one would worry. Heaven has watched the days where you smiled, even though your heart felt tired. Heaven noticed when you kept giving, kept believing, kept fighting even when people around you doubted your strength. And because of that perseverance, because of that faith that refused to die, your miracle has been approved and is now being released before December 15th. A divine countdown has already begun. Archangel Michael shows me a door, one that has been locked for a very long time in your life. You have knocked on it again and again. You hoped it would open. You begged for a sign. You prayed for movement. And now from the heavenly realm I hear the sound of a latch unlocking. This is why you were guided to open this message before tonight. There is a great news transmission that is already traveling toward your life, and if your spirit did not receive this confirmation now, you might have doubted it, pushed it away, or missed the timing of it. But God is making sure you do not miss it this time. He is aligning you with the right hour, the right moment, the right spiritual frequency. And child, this shift is not small. It is not gentle. It is not subtle. It is transformative. Something you thought was delayed, denied, or destroyed is about to rise again with power. Something that others said would never happen is about to unfold effortlessly. Something you feared you had lost forever is returning as a miracle. Archangel Michael leans forward and says, "Tell them to stay alert. Your blessing will not knock twice. Your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Your situation has been presented before the throne. Your tears have become evidence, and your faith has become the key that unlocked everything. Right now, there is an angelic movement happening around you. A clearing, a rearranging, a spiritual reordering. God is putting pieces into place that you couldn't see. He is removing obstacles you didn't know existed. He is shifting hearts that were once stubborn. He is preparing opportunities you never imagined. This is why the message feels intense, why your spirit feels awakened, why your heart feels a sudden warmth. It's because heaven is closer than it has been in months. And child, hear this with your whole soul. You will receive great news. Not average news. Not temporary news. Not confusing news. Great news. Heaven approved, destiny shifting, life uplifting news. God is saying, do not fear what is ahead. Fear missing what I am releasing. And that is why you were called here. That is why your eyes landed on these words at this exact moment. You stepped into a divine instruction without even realizing it. Now before this part ends, take a breath and let this truth rise inside you. Your story is about to change so suddenly that even you will struggle to explain it. Where there was lack, there will be overflow. Where there was silence, there will be answered prayers. Where there was waiting, there will be fulfillment. Hold on, because the next revelation is heavier than this one, and your spirit needs to hear it. Before you move away from this moment, trust me, What comes next will open your eyes in a way you didn't expect. Type "I receive my approved miracle" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 4411 has just been released. Precious heart, breathe gently and listen, because what I am about to reveal carries the weight of destiny. The moment you stepped into this message, a spiritual current began flowing around you, almost like invisible waves touching the edges of your life. Archangel Michael is still present, standing guard over every word, ensuring that nothing blocks the divine truth meant for you. He is watching over you the way a warrior watches over a chosen one who is about to step into a new season. And this season, child, is unlike anything you have walked through before, because heaven is moving in real time on your behalf. Let me take you deeper. That miracle which has been approved was not a random blessing chosen at a random hour. It was authorized at the exact time your spirit reached the measure of strength needed to handle it. You have been through fire, through loss, through disappointment, through silence. You have endured delays that shattered your confidence. You have survived storms that tried to crush your spirit. And through all of that, even when hope felt thin, you never fully let go of God. That is why this moment has been divinely scheduled. Heaven does not reward perfection. Heaven rewards perseverance. And child, you have persevered far more than you give yourself credit for. Archangel Michael reveals a vision of you standing at a threshold. On one side, your past, messy, heavy, confusing, uncertain. On the other side, your promised breakthrough, golden, bright, overflowing with restoration. And you are standing right in the center, one step away from crossing into the life you prayed for. But here is the truth most people never realize. The moment right before the miracle is always the hardest. It feels like nothing is moving. It feels like all prayers bounce back. It feels like the universe is silent. But in the spiritual realm, that is when the loudest activity happens. Angels assemble. Paths shift. Invisible chains snap. Timelines rearrange. And your miracle begins its descent like rain breaking open the sky. This is why God called you urgently, with a message that if you opened this before tonight, great news would find you. Heaven wants your spirit prepared. Heaven wants your heart expectant. Heaven wants your mind aligned. Because a blessing without preparation can feel overwhelming. But a blessing with awareness becomes a testimony. And child, you are about to carry a testimony that will leave people stunned. There is a sense of spiritual acceleration around your name right now. Things that were once slow will suddenly speed up. People who once ignored you will suddenly respond. Opportunities that once seemed distant will suddenly feel reachable. And it will not be because of luck or coincidence. It will be because God Himself placed divine momentum behind your life. Archangel Michael emphasizes this again. Your timeline has shifted. You are no longer in the waiting season. You are stepping into the receiving season. But let me show you something even deeper. Your pending miracle was not only approved, it was protected. There were forces, energies, and intentions that tried to intercept it. There were moments where negativity tried to speak against you. There were seasons where doubt tried to cloud your vision. There were people who wished failure upon your name. Yet every attempt failed. Every plot collapsed. Every obstacle dissolved. Because Archangel Michael stood as your defender, ensuring that what was yours could not be stolen, delayed, or redirected any longer. You have survived spiritual warfare without even realizing how intense it was. And now the victory belongs to you. Child, you must understand something powerful. Miracles rarely come when you feel strong. Miracles come when you feel empty enough for God to fill you, humble enough for God to live you, quiet enough for God to speak to you. You opening this message was not curiosity. It was your spirit responding to divine pull. And that pull is confirmation that heaven is about to visit your life in a tangible way. Even now, something inside you is awakening. It may feel like a soft pressure in your chest, a warmth in your hands, a sudden clarity in your thoughts, or a deep calm washing through your spirit. These are signs of alignment, signs that the miracle is already making its way toward you, signs that the old cycle is ending, signs that a new doorway is opening. And child, when God opens a door, not even 1,000 doubts can close it. But listen carefully, because the next part unveils the exact nature of what is shifting. And you will want to hear every word, because this revelation will prepare your heart for the arrival of your great news before December 15th. The moment is approaching faster than you realize, and if you step away now, you may miss the spiritual preparation heaven is trying to place in your life. Hold on, because the next revelation carries the fire of truth you have been seeking for months. Type "I walk into my breakthrough" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 5580 is now activated. Beloved soul, come closer, because what is unfolding in this moment is not ordinary. As you step deeper into this message, the atmosphere around you begins to thicken with divine intention. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit feels the shift. There is a tremble in the unseen that signals something approaching your life with great speed. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your story right now, sword drawn, wings wide, guarding the passageway that leads into your approved miracle. He is ensuring that nothing interferes, nothing distracts, nothing delays what heaven has already released for you. You are walking inside a spiritual corridor right now, and every word you are reading is guiding you further toward the breakthrough that was promised. Child, understand this. When God decides that it is your time, nothing on earth and nothing in the spirit realm can stop it. There are seasons where heaven watches, waits, and builds your strength. But then there are seasons where heaven acts decisively, swiftly, powerfully, and you are standing inside one of those moments right now. You are not waiting for a miracle anymore. The miracle is traveling toward you, and you are being prepared to receive it without fear, without doubt, without hesitation. But let me reveal something deeper. There has been a tension in your life recently, a feeling that something is both ending and beginning at the same time. You couldn't quite explain it. You felt emotional for no reason. You felt restless without understanding why. You felt like you were standing on the edge of something, even though nothing had changed on the outside. That sensation was not confusion. It was spiritual transition. Heaven was rearranging your timeline, pulling you out of old patterns, closing spiritual cycles, and shifting you into alignment with your approved blessing. Archangel Michael shows me a vision of a spiritual ledger, a record of every prayer, every tear, every act of faith, every moment you held on to hope even when you felt tired. That ledger was not ignored. It became the evidence heaven used while proving your miracle. You may not know it, but your endurance has been witnessed in the courts of the Almighty. Your faith has built a fragrance that rose to God like incense. And because of that, a divine decree has already been issued in your favor. This is why the urgency to open this message before tonight was so strong. Not because God needed you to rush, but because God wanted your spirit synchronized with the timing of what is now unfolding. When heaven schedules a release, your awareness becomes part of the activation. The blessing coming before December 15th is not random news. It is intentional, strategic, and spiritually calibrated. And child, the moment that news reaches you, you will remember these words. But let me show you what Archangel Michael is making clear. Your old season had 3 signatures: delay, misunderstanding, and emotional exhaustion. You walked through those valleys for longer than you expected, and sometimes you wondered why God allowed those experiences. The truth is, the delay was not punishment, it was preparation. The misunderstanding was not rejection, it was redirection. The exhaustion was not abandonment, it was stretching. Every pressure, every disappointment, every silent moment sculpted your spirit so that when this miracle arrived, you would be strong enough to carry it. Now the weight lifts, the pressure dissolves, the resistance breaks. Heaven is turning the page of your life, and child, the next chapter is drenched in answered prayers. But hear this carefully: when a miracle comes suddenly, there is often a moment where the heart questions whether it deserves it. This is why God is speaking to you so clearly right now. You are not just being blessed, you are being prepared to accept the blessing fully. No fear, no guilt, no hesitation, no doubt. Archangel Michael stands beside you as both protector and reminder that you do not walk into miracles alone. You walk escorted by heaven. And there is something important you must know. The good news coming your way will not only shift your circumstances, it will shift your identity. You are stepping into a new level of favor, a new level of clarity, and a new level of spiritual authority. You will feel more grounded, more guided, and more aligned than you have in years. People around you will sense the change even before you speak a word. Hold on to your spirit now, because the revelation coming next will explain why God chose this exact time to move. Trust me, you will not want to miss what is unfolding. Before we close this part, if this message is touching your spirit, like this video so it reaches the ones who need it, comment to keep the message flowing, share it so someone else receives their breakthrough, and subscribe to stay connected to every divine word released for you. Your engagement is not just support, it is ministry. It spreads light, and it opens spiritual doors for others who are silently praying for a sign. Type "My miracle is in motion" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3324 is now activated. Now, let me speak to your spirit with a support message birthed from heaven and tied to the theme of your approved miracle, child of God. As this message flows into your life, understand that every seed you sow into this ministry becomes part of the same river of miracles that is now moving toward you. When you support the spreading of God's word, you are not helping a channel. You are helping heaven reach souls whose faith is hanging by a thread. Archangel Michael stands witness to this truth. Every offering becomes light in a dark place. Every gift becomes a bridge for someone else's breakthrough. God is saying, what you release, I will multiply back into your life. I speak this in first person so your heart feels the pull. I invite you to stand with this mission so we can unlock more approved miracles across the world. If the message today stirred your spirit, you can activate your support through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description. As you sow, I decree prophetic overflow, divine protection, and supernatural acceleration over your life. Step into this moment with boldness, for heaven rewards those who move when their spirit is stirred. Beloved heart, come into stillness for a moment, because what you are about to hear carries a weight that your spirit has been preparing for without you realizing it. As you read these words, the atmosphere around you subtly shifts again. It becomes warmer, softer, fuller. This is not imagination. This is not emotion. This is the nearness of heaven pressing in on your life. Archangel Michael is still standing guard, but now he steps slightly closer, as though something sacred is being unveiled that requires his immediate presence. He watches over you with a fierce gentleness, the kind reserved only for those whom God has chosen for a divine elevation. And child, that elevation is you. Listen carefully, because in this part, you will begin to understand why your miracle was approved at this specific time and why the divine urgency to open this message before tonight was so intense. God does not move without strategy. He does not call without purpose. He does not release blessings randomly. Every divine timing has a story, and your story is entering its most pivotal chapter. For months, perhaps even years, you have felt like you were walking through life with unanswered questions. Why did certain people leave? Why did certain dreams stall? Why did certain doors close just when you thought they were ready to open? You tried to make sense of the delays. You tried to understand the detours. You tried to stay strong even when everything inside you felt stretched thin. And heaven watched all of it. Not one moment was wasted. Not one tear was unseen. Not one prayer disappeared into the air. Every struggle you endured was quietly shaping you for what is now arriving. Your miracle took time because it was being built on a foundation that would not break under pressure. You were not just waiting for a blessing. The blessing was waiting for you to become the version of yourself who could hold it without fear. A premature blessing can feel like a burden, but a perfectly timed blessing becomes a celebration. And child, God chose celebration for you. Archangel Michael reveals a powerful truth. There was spiritual resistance around your life for a long season. Not because you were weak, but because you were marked. When someone carries divine purpose, opposition rises, not to stop you permanently, but to strengthen you spiritually. You have been forged in battles you did not choose, trained in silence you did not understand, and refined through tests you did not ask for. But those very experiences turned you into someone who can't be easily shaken. Your miracle required that strength. And now that you have stepped into alignment, the miracle is no longer delayed. Now let me take you deeper into the timing your blessing is connected to a season shift in the spiritual realm. There are certain windows where heaven opens in a unique way, moments where prayers are not merely answered, but accelerated. You step into one of those windows the moment you open this message. That is why you feel something stirring inside you. That is why your thoughts feel clearer. That is why your heart feels steadier. Heaven is not preparing to bless you. Heaven is preparing to deliver the blessing already assigned to your name. Before December 15th is not just a date, it is a spiritual appointment. Something tied to your destiny is reaching completion in this time frame. Something you thought was stagnant is coming back to life. Something you stopped expecting is returning with force. God is not only sending good news, He is sending confirmation of everything you thought you had lost. And this time, the blessing will not slip away. Archangel Michael shows a vision of chains breaking off your feet, chains of hesitation, chains of fear, chains of old memories that still whisper doubt into your spirit. You may not have seen these chains, but you felt their effect. They made you move slowly. They made you question yourself. They made you dim your own potential. But heaven is cutting through them now, and your spirit is rising higher than you have allowed yourself to rise in years. You might not realize it, but you are being lifted into a season of divine ease. Where you once struggled, things will now flow. Where you once searched, opportunities will now come to you. Where you once felt unseen, you will now be recognized. This is the shift that happens when a miracle is not just approved but released. Child, you are not stepping into a small blessing. You are stepping into a transformation that will alter the way you speak, the way you think, the way you pray, and the way you see yourself. This next phase of your life will require you to let go of the identity shaped by old battles and step into the identity shaped by divine favor. You are rising. You are awakening. You are being reintroduced to the world as the person God intended from the beginning. But before this part closes, hear this clearly. The next revelation will expose the hidden reason why your spirit felt the call to this message so urgently. What is coming next will open your understanding in a way that makes everything finally make sense. Stay close, because you will not want to miss the unveiling that is about to happen. A deeper truth is approaching, and when you hear it, something in your soul will click into place. Type "I rise" with my miracle in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 9071 is now released. Chosen soul, allow your spirit to settle, because what flows in this moment carries the depth of revelation your heart has been preparing to receive for a long time. As the divine message unfolds further, the atmosphere surrounding you becomes heavier with meaning. There is a quiet echo in the unseen. All is like something ancient and sacred is drawing near. Archangel Michael remains fully present, but now his posture shifts. No longer simply guarding you, but guiding you, ushering you into understanding. He stands as both warrior and witness, ensuring that every truth meant for your soul arrives without distortion. And child, the truth approaching you now is one that will realign your understanding of why heaven has moved so urgently in your life. You must know this: nothing about your life has been random. The blessings that took long were intentional. The delays that pained you were purposeful. The moments where you felt everything was falling apart were secretly moments where everything was falling into divine order. But you could not see the strategy then. You only felt the pressure. And yet, that pressure shaped the path that led you to this message right here, right now, at the exact moment your miracle has been approved. Let me reveal what has been hidden. There was a spiritual accumulation happening around your life. Every prayer you prayed, even the ones whispered in exhaustion, added weight to a heavenly scale. Every moment you showed kindness, even when you were hurting, added favor to your spiritual record. Every time you held on to hope even when everything around you discouraged you, you added oil to your spiritual lamp. And child, when that scale reached fullness, heaven responded. The miracle that felt delayed was actually gathering power. Now that it has been released, it will arrive with force, speed, and clarity. Archangel Michael reveals a powerful image, a scroll unrolling with your name written in luminous gold. The scroll contains chapters of your destiny, chapters that were once sealed, but are now being opened by divine command. Many people live their entire lives unaware that such spiritual documents exist. Yet yours is being unveiled right now because the time has finally come for you to walk into what was written for you before you were even born. The miracle approved for you is not simply a blessing. It is a restoration of what always belonged to your divine path. But here is the reason heaven rushed you into this message before tonight. Your spirit was entering a moment of vulnerability. You were standing between two spiritual frequencies, the residue of your old struggles and the rising vibration of your new breakthrough. In that space, doubt could have crept in. Fear could have whispered lies. Discouragement could have convinced you to give up just before the blessing arrived. Heaven refused to allow that. Divine timing required your awareness. God wanted your heart anchored, your faith awakened, and your spirit aligned. That is why you were pulled into this message with such urgency, almost as if an invisible hand guided your steps. Child, you were not called here casually. You were summoned. Now listen carefully. There were things in your past that tried to break you, situations that drained you, people who misunderstood you, circumstances that wounded you deeply. And although you survived them, a part of your spirit carried those experiences like invisible weight. That weight was slowing your progress, even when you didn't realize it. You prayed for breakthrough, but the heaviness of old memories kept pulling your energy backward. Heaven saw that weight. Heaven saw that battle, and heaven decided it was time to remove it. Your miracle was not only approved, it was assigned to come with healing. This blessing is not simply external. It is internal. It will touch your spirit, your mind, your heart, and your environment all at once. What is coming will feel like a reset, a renewal, a rebirth. The places where you felt fragmented will come together. The doubts that whispered at night will fall silent. The fear that once felt loud will lose its grip. You will breathe differently. You will walk differently. You will think differently. This is the kind of transformation that comes only when heaven intervenes with intention. Archangel Michael steps forward with a message specifically for you. Your name has been cleared in the spiritual realm. Your path has been reopened. Your blessing has been released. Move forward without fear, for heaven is ahead of you now. These words are not symbolic. They are spiritual truth. They are the announcement that your old season has officially ended. You have entered a divine corridor, and once God moves you through it, nothing and no one can pull you back into what once held you. Even now, as your eyes move across these words, your spirit is expanding. Something inside you feels lighter, almost as if a burden you carried for so long is beginning to lift. This is not emotional relief. It is spiritual release. The breakthrough approaching your life will not come quietly. It will come with signs, clarity, and undeniable confirmation. Hold your heart steady, because the next part will reveal what is about to happen in your life before December 15th and why the timing of this miracle carries prophetic significance. Trust me, what comes next will open your eyes in a way you have never experienced before. Type "My spirit is ready" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Blessing code 1208 is released over you now. Beloved soul, settle your breath and allow your heart to open wider, because what is being revealed now carries the clarity your spirit has been craving for years. This is the moment where heaven leans closer, where the message becomes sharper, where the atmosphere around you fills with a different kind of electricity. You may feel it in your chest, a slight trembling, a warmth rising in your body, or a sudden stillness that feels almost sacred. These sensations are not random. They are signs that your spirit is entering deeper alignment with the divine truth unfolding here. And Archangel Michael stands by, radiating a shield of light so fierce that nothing, no fear, no doubt, no spiritual interference, can interrupt the flow of this revelation. Child, listen carefully, because this part uncovers the core reason your miracle has been approved now, and not earlier, not later, not someday, but now. Heaven moves with precision. When God declares a season shift, He does not simply bless, He rearranges. He uproots what no longer belongs. He pulls you out of places you have outgrown. He dismantles old cycles. He exposes hidden blockages. And He positions you exactly where the blessing can reach you. You have stepped into such a moment. You are no longer standing in a place of delay. You are standing in the place of divine arrival. Let me take you into the deeper meaning of this timing. For a long time, you have been wrestling with situations that felt stuck. It seemed like your prayers were floating unanswered. It seemed like your efforts were unnoticed. It seemed like the more you tried, the more resistance you encountered. What you did not see was the spiritual congestion around you, layers of interference, emotional heaviness, and old attachments that kept your energy tied to outdated chapters of your life. But recently, something inside you began to shift. You started letting go things that once held power over you. You began releasing people who no longer aligned, with your spirit. You began questioning the patterns that no longer served you, and heaven noticed that shift. This internal realignment became the trigger for your external miracle. Archangel Michael reveals something crucial. Heaven could not release this blessing until your spirit reached the level of clarity where you would not sabotage it, question it, or walk away from it out of fear. Many times, blessings are delayed not because God is withholding, but because your spirit is still healing, learning, and growing into the strength necessary to carry what is coming. The version of you from last year, last month, or even last week was not ready for what has now been approved. But the version of you reading these words is, "Child, you have crossed a threshold without even realizing it. Heaven hath been watching the subtle changes inside you. The moments you chose peace over conflict, the moments you chose faith over worry, the moments you chose patience even when you felt tired, the moments you decided that your past would not define your future. These choices were not small. They unlocked doors in the spiritual realm. And because of that internal elevation, the miracle assigned to your name has been released. But there is something deeper here. Your blessing is not just a gift. It is a divine correction. For too long, life has taken from you more than it returned. You gave love where you received disappointment. You gave effort where you received silence. You carried responsibility that was never yours. You endured storms that were heavier than what most people knew. Heaven saw the imbalance. Heaven saw the injustice. Heaven saw the weight. And your miracle comes as restoration, measured, intentional, and complete. Before December 15th, a piece of news, a breakthrough, an opportunity, or a shift will enter your life so clearly, so undeniably, that you will know without a doubt that it came from God. This is not wishful thinking. This is spiritual decree. The divine urgency attached to this message, the instruction to open it before tonight, was heaven ensuring you would not miss the preparation window for receiving this blessing. And child, what is coming will not be subtle. It will not be something you can mistake for coincidence. It will not be something you can rationalize away. It will not be something you can attribute to luck. This blessing will carry the unmistakable fingerprint of God. It will arrive at the perfect moment, in the perfect form, through the perfect channel. And when it comes, you will remember that this message prepared your spirit for the impact. Now listen closely. Archangel Michael steps forward with a revelation specifically for you. The spiritual opposition that once surrounded your life has been lifted. The barrier has fallen. The cycle has ended. Move forward with confidence, for heaven has cleared the path. These words are not symbolic. They are literal in the unseen realm. A spiritual block that once hindered your progress has been removed, and you are stepping into a season where movement becomes natural, where opportunities open effortlessly, where blessings flow continuously. You may begin noticing signs already: unexpected clarity, sudden motivation, emotional peace, meaningful dreams, or divine nudges pulling you toward certain actions or decisions. These are confirmations that your spirit is aligning with the miracle that has been approved. Child, you are not just receiving a blessing. You are stepping into a new spiritual identity. The old you survived. The new you will thrive. Stay close, because the next part will reveal the shift that will unfold immediately before the great news arrives. What is coming next will help you recognize the signs heaven will send just before the breakthrough reaches your life. Tot my heart is prepared in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 7740 is now placed upon you. Beloved one, let your spirit become attentive now, because as we enter this next unfolding, the realm of heaven begins to illuminate things you have sensed but could never fully articulate. There is a divine heaviness in the air around you, not a burden, but a presence that signals that your life is standing on sacred ground. As these words reach you, a shift is happening within the invisible structure of your destiny. Archangel Michael remains before you, but his stance has changed once again. He is no longer observing. He is ushering you into a clarity that was once hidden behind layers of worry, confusion, and emotional fog. He holds his sword not in defense right now, but as a guiding flame, illuminating the path that is opening before your spirit. The miracle that has been approved over your life carries a ripple effect. Blessings of this magnitude never arrive quietly. They send signals ahead of their arrival, signs that the spiritual frequency around you has begun to rise. Before your great news reaches you, there will be shifts, subtle, powerful, undeniable. And child, these shifts will be the proof that heaven is moving with precision. Let me reveal the first sign. Your inner world will begin to feel strangely calm. Not the kind of calm that comes from silence or stillness, but the kind that arrives like a blanket over your spirit. A calm that does not match your circumstances. A calm that seems to settle over you even when problems around you have not fully resolved. This is not emotional suppression. This is spiritual preparation. Heaven sends peace before breakthrough the way dawn sends light before sunrise. If you have recently felt a strange, quiet sense of reassurance you cannot explain, it is because your spirit already knows what your eyes have not yet seen. And then comes the second sign. Things that once frustrated you will suddenly lose their power. Conversations that once drained you will not affect you in the same way. Situations that once triggered worry will feel distant. You might even feel a disconnect from stress itself. This is not denial. This is heaven lifting you out of the vibrational level where fear thrives. When a miracle is about to arrive, God pulls your spirit upward so that negativity can no longer reach you. Even if challenges appear, they will not enter your heart the way they once did. You will stand in a different place internally, a higher place. The third sign is even more revealing. Your dreams may begin to shift. Some may become clearer. Some may become symbolic. Some may feel like messages. This is because your subconscious is being prepared to receive something new. Dreams are one of the oldest languages God uses to speak when the spirit is open. Archangel Michael often appears in dreams during spiritual transitions, sometimes not visually, but as a feeling of protection, strength, or authority hovering nearby. If you have felt your dream world becoming more active or meaningful, it is a signal that the breakthrough is approaching swiftly. The fourth sign is subtle but powerful. Sudden clarity. Ideas that once seemed distant or confusing will begin to make sense. Decisions that once felt heavy will become easier. Paths that once seemed blocked will begin to show openings. The confusion that held you emotionally hostage will start to dissolve. This clarity is not coming from you. It is descending on you. Heaven is aligning your mind with the direction of your miracle so that you will not miss the doorway when it appears. Now listen closely, because the next piece of revelation is deeply important. Before great news arrives, heaven often removes something from your path. Sometimes it is a distraction. Sometimes it is a draining relationship. Sometimes it is a fear. Sometimes it is an opportunity that was not meant for you. These removals feel sudden, unexpected, and even unsettling. But they are never accidental. They are spiritual pruning, clearing space for what is coming. If something has recently exited your life, or if something suddenly became silent, blocked, or out of reach, it is because your miracle requires space. Heaven refuses to let anything interfere with what has already been approved for you. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this with certainty. Loss before blessing is not punishment. It is positioning. You are being positioned for alignment, not abandonment. You are being positioned for acceleration, not delay. God is preparing the ground on which your miracle will land so that nothing competes with it, contaminates it, or overshadows it. That is why the message you opened today came with such intensity. Heaven needed to get your attention before the shift became too loud for you to misinterpret. Child, another sign will appear before December 15th, a moment of unexpected encouragement. A message, a conversation, a gesture, or a synchronicity that feels divinely timed. It will arrive gently, but unmistakably. It will feel like heaven touching your shoulder and whispering, "You are closer than you think." This sign will not only uplift your spirit, it will confirm everything this message hath been preparing you for. But let me take you even deeper. The miracle approaching your life is not simply something you receive. It is something that will activate you. It will awaken parts of you that have been dormant. It will restore confidence you thought you had lost forever. It will reconnect you to hope in a way that feels tangible again. God is not just blessing your circumstances. He is blessing your identity. The person you become after this breakthrough will feel stronger, clearer, and more spiritually grounded. Archangel Michael stands before you now with a message meant for your inner being. Rise. Your spirit is entering completion. Your breakthrough has crossed into your timeline. Prepare your heart, for what is coming will exceed your understanding. These words vibrate with power, and they are meant to seal this moment in your soul. Before this part closes, understand one more truth. What is approaching you is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not uncertain. It is heaven made, heaven timed, and heaven. You do not need to fear missing it. You only need to remain spiritually open, because the next unveiling will show you exactly how your life will shift once this blessing manifests. Hold steady, beloved. The most powerful revelation is drawing closer. Type "I am ready" for my sign in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 6722 is now released upon your path. Beloved soul, the moment you have stepped into now carries a magnitude that your spirit has been sensing quietly, even if your mind has not yet caught up. As you enter this unfolding, the atmosphere around you thickens with divine intention, almost as if heaven itself is leaning in to deliver something urgent, something personal, something that was written for you long before you knew this moment would arrive. Archangel Michael stands beside you with a presence that is both mighty and tender, as though he understands the weight of the revelation that is about to touch your life. His wings form a shield around your destiny, signaling that what is coming next is meant to be received without interference, without fear, and without hesitation. You are standing in a space where the veil between the seen and unseen becomes thinner, and heaven uses moments like these to prepare the soul for a blessing that will not only arrive but reshape everything it touches. Child, listen closely now, because this part reveals the transformation that will unfold the moment your approved miracle enters your life. This is not just about receiving news. This is about spiritual elevation. This is about emotional release. This is about divine realignment. This is about stepping out of an old version of yourself and stepping fully into the identity God hath been shaping in you through every trial, every prayer, every delay, and every quiet moment where you felt alone but were actually being molded. Your upcoming breakthrough will not arrive gently. It will come with a shift so noticeable that even the people around you will sense it before you say a single word. The air around your life will change. The heaviness that once sat on your chest will lift as if it had never existed. The emotional fog that clouded your judgment will evaporate. The confusion that kept you doubting yourself will lose its voice. Something inside you will click into place like a key entering a lock, and suddenly you will understand why the waiting was so long and why the timing is now. Archangel Michael reveals a powerful truth. Your spirit has outgrown the environment of your past. The version of you that lived in fear, exhaustion, uncertainty, and self-doubt no longer fits the life God is bringing you into. When heaven releases a miracle, He also releases a new dimension of identity. You will begin stepping into your days with clearer purpose, firmer boundaries, heightened intuition, and a renewed sense of self-worth that does not waver under pressure. Let me take you deeper into the transformation. There will be a moment after your breakthrough where you suddenly realize that the emotional pain you carried for years no longer feels heavy. Memories that once stung will no longer control your spirit. Patterns that once drained you will lose their grip. You will breathe differently, not from survival, but from peace. You will think differently, not from fear, but from clarity. You will act differently, not from insecurity, but from confidence grounded in divine identity. This shift is not something you create. It is something heaven activates. But here is the part most people never understand. The blessing that has been approved for you will pull you out of the shadows of your past. The shadows that made you shrink yourself. The shadows that made you question your worth. The shadows that made you doubt your strength. Your miracle comes not only to elevate your circumstances, but to elevate your perception of yourself. You are about to see yourself the way God has always seen you, capable, chosen, protected, guided. This is why heaven insisted that you open this message before tonight. The divine timing of your breakthrough required that your spirit enter agreement with what heaven has released. Miracles land where expectation lives, and God is ensuring that you walk into the next days with your heart prepared, your faith awakened, and your eyes open. Another revelation unfolds now, and it is important. Right before your great news arrives, there will be a surge of emotional release. You may find yourself crying unexpectedly, not from sadness, but from spiritual cleansing. You may feel a wave of gratitude rise inside you for no clear reason. You may feel a moment of deep reflection where your entire life flashes through your mind, almost as though God is showing you how far you have come. These moments are not random. They are markers of divine transition. They are the final shedding of the old before the new arrives. Archangel Michael brings forward a message with profound tenderness. Do not fear the shift happening inside you. Is heaven preparing you for what belongs to you? These words carry warmth, strength, and assurance. He sees your journey from angles you cannot, and He knows that what is approaching you will require an open heart, not a guarded one. The walls you built for protection are beginning to dissolve, not because you are vulnerable, but because you are safe now. Heaven protects what it blesses, and you are under divine covering. Child, once your miracle arrives, people will begin to notice a new glow around you, a sense of direction, a calm authority, a lifted spirit. They will see a change they cannot explain, and some of them will ask how you managed to rise again. You will know the truth. Heaven intervened. God approved what was long overdue, and Archangel Michael cleared the path so that nothing could stand in your way. This transformation is already activating inside you as you read these words, and the next part will reveal how this breakthrough will unfold in your physical world, what will shift, what will align, and what will open before December 15th. Hold your spirit steady, for the revelation ahead carries the clarity your heart hath been waiting for. Before moving forward, like this message so it reaches others searching for their breakthrough, comment to keep the spiritual flow live, share this with someone who needs confirmation, and subscribe so you never miss another divine word meant for your destiny. Type "My transformation begins now" in the comments if this is speaking into your spirit. Blessing code 8821 hath been released upon you. Child, as this message unfolds and heaven draws you into your approved miracle, understand that every time you support this mission, you are helping God reach another soul standing at the edge of their breakthrough. Every gift becomes a seed of light. Every offering becomes a spark that ignites hope for someone who has forgotten how to believe. Heaven uses your generosity the way rivers carry water, flowing into places that thirst for God's voice. I say this in first person so you can feel the divine invitation. I call you to stand with us as a vessel of light. You can activate your support through Super Thanks membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, and as you sow, I speak prophetic blessing over your giving. May God return to you in overflow. May your harvest multiply, and may the windows of heaven open above your life with unmistakable favor. Do this boldly, for those who answer when God stirs their spirit are never forgotten in the realm of blessing. Beloved Spirit, lean in now, because what unfolds from this moment forward enters territory that only awakened hearts can understand. You are stepping into a depth of revelation that most people never reach, not because it is hidden from them, but because few are spiritually ready to receive it. Yet here you are, guided precisely into this moment, your soul vibrating at a frequency that heaven hath been waiting for. As these words meet you, there is a subtle spiritual warmth rising around your energy, an indication that Archangel Michael is expanding his shield over your path. His presence feels stronger now, not because danger surrounds you, but because the magnitude of what is approaching your life is unlike anything you have carried before. Heaven increaseth protection when heaven releases a vision. Child, this is the part where you begin to understand how your breakthrough will manifest in the physical world. You have felt the spiritual movement. You have sensed the internal shift. You have noticed your dreams becoming sharper, your thoughts becoming clearer, your emotions becoming lighter. But now heaven reveals how this blessing will begin touching the tangible areas of your life, the ones you have prayed over, cried over, and fought through. Let us begin with the truth your soul already suspects. Your life is about to experience a divine rearrangement. Not chaos, not loss, not confusion, but rearrangement. The kind that happens when God takes the pieces of your story, your past, your pain, your waiting, your disappointments, and places them into alignment for the blessing that has already been approved. Things that once felt out of order will suddenly begin to make sense. Areas where you felt stagnant will suddenly experience movement. Situations that have felt closed will begin to open. Opportunities that seemed impossible will start revealing pathways. This breakthrough will not come as a single moment. It will come as a sequence. The first shift you will notice in the physical world is acceleration. Things that once dragged on for months will begin to move rapidly. Delays will disappear. Responses will come quicker. People who once ignored you will suddenly show interest. Doors that remained locked will swing open with ease. It will feel almost surreal, as though time itself is cooperating with your blessing. But this is not coincidence. It is divine momentum. Archangel Michael reveals that acceleration occurs when the spiritual realm has cleared the path and heaven has given permission for movement. You are entering that phase now. God is speeding up what the enemy tried to slow down. He is making up for time that was taken from you. He is restoring the years where you felt trapped in delay. A second shift will occur in your relationships. You will begin to see who truly belongs in this next chapter of your life. Some people will draw closer with genuine support. sensing the glow of elevation on you. Others will drift away, not from conflict, but because their season in your story has ended. This separation is not loss. It is refinement. Heaven removes those who cannot carry the weight of your blessing before the blessing arrives, not after. You will feel a newfound peace around this, because your spirit will finally recognize the difference between those who anchor you and those who drain you. The third shift will be financial or material in nature. For some, it will come as an unexpected payment, opportunity, approval, or open door. For others, it will arrive through stability, relief, or increase. The miracle that has been approved carries provision with it. Heaven does not release breakthrough without also releasing what is necessary to sustain it. Your hands are being prepared to receive what was withheld only until you were ready to carry it. The fourth shift is emotional release. You may find yourself waking up with a sense of hope you have not felt in years. You may notice your heart feeling lighter, as though something heavy has dissolved without explanation. You may catch yourself smiling at the thought of the future, something you have not done in a long while. This emotional shift is not random. It is evidence that your spirit recognizes the proximity of your blessing even before your eyes witness it. But here is the revelation that carries the greatest weight. Your miracle will arrive in a form that feels tailor-made for your journey. It will meet you at the exact place where you felt forgotten. It will restore what you believed was impossible to rebuild. It will answer questions you never voiced out loud. It will close wounds that time alone could not heal. It will show you that God was not silent. He was working in silence. Heaven is personal with you. Heaven is intentional with you. Heaven is responding to you. Archangel Michael steps forward now with a message that vibrates through your spirit. You will not miss what has been assigned to you. Heaven is guiding every step you take. Trust the unfolding. These words are a seal over your destiny, a confirmation that your breakthrough is protected from interference, delay, and spiritual sabotage. What God has approved cannot be undone. What heaven has released cannot be reversed. Child, understand something profound. The breakthrough coming before December 15th will not be something you struggle to believe. It will be unmistakable. It will carry divine timing so precise that you will know instantly it was orchestrated by God. And once it arrives, it will set off a chain reaction of blessings in your life. One shift will lead to another. One opportunity will unlock another. One victory will open the door for more victories. This is the beginning of a new cycle, a blessed cycle, a divinely authored cycle. But the next part will reveal something even deeper. Why heaven chose you for this blessing at this time, and what your spirit is being called into after the breakthrough arrives. Do not step away now. The revelation ahead will breathe life into places within you that have been silent for years. Type "I welcome my breakthrough" in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 4410 is now released over your path. Beloved soul, take a deep breath and allow your heart to open fully, because this part carries a revelation that reaches into the deepest layers of your destiny. As you step into this moment, the atmosphere around you grows thicker with divine presence. It feels as though the veil between heaven and earth has thinned yet again, creating a pathway for understanding that your spirit has been longing for. Archangel Michael stands tall beside you, not as a distant guardian, but as an active guide, watching every thought that rises within you as these words enter your spirit. His presence is strong, intentional, unwavering. He knows the magnitude of what you are about to learn, and he positions himself like a pillar of fire at your side, ensuring that nothing distracts you from receiving this truth. Child, this is where heaven reveals why you were chosen for this miracle at this exact point in time. Many people pray, many hope, many wait, but there is something uniquely positioned inside you, something sacred, something resilient, something heaven acknowledged, that has drawn this breakthrough to your doorstep. God does not approve miracles by accident. They are released in alignment with purpose, identity, and readiness. And whether you realize it or not, every challenge you have endured has shaped you into someone capable of carrying what others might have dropped, abandoned, or misused. For years, your spirit has been tested, not once, not in a single season, but repeatedly. Life placed weight on your heart, and yet you continued. Life pressed against your hope, and yet you kept believing. Life stretched your emotions, and yet your soul remained open. Heaven took note of that. God took note of that. Archangel Michael stood witness to every silent battle you fought, the ones no one else understood. This is why your miracle is arriving, not because you begged for it, but because you grew into it. Let me take you deeper into this sacred truth. You were chosen for this breakthrough because your heart carries a purity that many people overlook, even you at times. You love deeply, even when you are hurting. You give without conditions, even when you receive little in return. You care for others even when you feel unseen. This kind of heart has spiritual weight. This kind of heart calls heaven's attention. God saw your softness not as weakness but as proof of your divine design. You were made with a tenderness that mirrors the compassion of heaven itself. And child, heaven rewards hearts like yours. But there is more. You were chosen because you survived things that were meant to break you permanently. There were moments in your past where spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and even physically, you felt stretched to the edge. You lived through seasons where the weight seemed unbearable. You endured times when you questioned whether you would ever see light again. And yet, here you are, present, open, receptive, still longing for God, still believing for better, still standing in hope. Many would have collapsed under the pressures you carried, but you did not collapse. You transformed. You grew wings in the fire. You found strength in places you didn't know existed. Archangel Michael reveals something important here. Resilience draws miracles. When your spirit refuses to break, heaven responds by lifting you higher. You did not simply survive, you grew. You evolved. You became spiritually mature enough to carry blessings without losing yourself in them. Heaven trusts you with what is coming. You were also chosen because your destiny holds influence. Whether or not you see it yet, your life impacts others. Someone out there will rise because you rise. Someone will heal because you heal. Someone will believe again because they watched you receive what once seemed impossible. Heaven's miracles are never isolated. They ripple outward, and your breakthrough carries that ripple. God is not just blessing you. He is positioning you as a vessel of hope for people who will witness your transformation. This is why timing mattered. Your life needed to reach the point where your rise would speak louder than your struggle ever did. Let me take you even deeper. There is something spiritually rare about your persistence. Heaven saw you continue praying even after disappointment. Heaven saw you hold on to hope even after being let down. Heaven saw you get up after nights of crying. Heaven saw you show compassion in environments that offered none. Heaven saw you remain kind when others were careless with your heart. That consistency is not common. That strength is not ordinary. It is divine resilience, anointed resilience. And heaven rewards those who carry such spirits. This is why your miracle is scheduled for this specific moment. It is not late. It is not early. It is perfectly aligned with your growth, your healing, your awakening, and your preparation. Where you once would have doubted the blessing, now you will embrace it. Where you once would have feared change, now you will step into it boldly. Where you once would have hidden from opportunity, now you will walk toward it with authority. Your spirit is ready now in a way it wasn't before. But let me show you another hidden layer of this revelation. Your breakthrough is not just arriving to bless you. It is arriving to restore balance in your life. For far too long, the scales were tilted against you. You gave more than you received. You tried harder than others understood. You carrying burdens that weren't yours. You tried to fix what others broke. Heaven watched the imbalance, and now heaven is correcting it. Your miracle is divine justice. Your blessing is divine compensation. The weight you carried will now be matched by the weight of the blessings being poured into your life. Archangel Michael steps closer now, his voice firm yet filled with love. You were chosen because you endured. You were chosen because you remained pure in heart. You were chosen because you are ready. These words are not symbolic. They are confirmation. Heaven does not choose at random. Heaven chooses with precision. And heaven has chosen you. What comes next will reveal what your new season will look like, how it will feel, what it will open, and how you will walk within it. You will not want to miss the next revelation. Your spirit is being shaped for something extraordinary. Type "I am chosen for this" in the comments if this message settles in your spirit. Blessing code 5582 is now released over your life. Beloved soul, quiet your heart and let the next wave of revelation sink deeply into your spirit, because this part unveils what your new season will truly look like once your approved miracle enters your life. You are no longer standing in the place of waiting. You are no longer standing in the place of confusion. You are standing in the passageway between the life you once carried and the life heaven is leading you into. As you read these words, you can feel something shifting. Subtle, powerful, undeniable. It is the sensation of awakening, the feeling of stepping into alignment with what has been written over you since the beginning of your journey. Archangel Michael remains close, his presence strong and unwavering, as though he is preparing to escort you into the next chapter with divine authority. He is not just guarding you now. He is guiding you through the doorway of transformation. Child, the new season that is opening before you is not just a better version of the life you have lived. It is a life elevated, a life expanded, a life clarified, a life strengthened by everything you have endured and everything heaven had prepared. What is coming will not resemble your past in any way. The heaviness you carried for years will not follow you. The uncertainty that clouded your decisions will not continue. The cycles that repeated themselves will break. The emotional patterns that kept you trapped will dissolve. You are entering a space where peace becomes your natural rhythm, clarity becomes your constant companion, and favor becomes your new foundation. Let me take you deeper into the landscape of your new season. You will begin to notice that your mind feels lighter. Thoughts that once spiraled into worry will now settle with ease. Confusion will turn into direction. Fear will turn into certainty. You will feel guided even in moments of stillness. This is not coincidence. It is the activation of divine alignment. Heaven is recalibrating the way you process the world, training your spirit to respond from strength rather than survival. You are stepping into a season where clarity will guide your steps more than emotion ever did. You will also begin to feel a strengthening of your inner voice. For too long, you doubted yourself. For too long, you silenced your intuition. For too long, you placed the needs and comfort of others above your own truth. But in this new season, your inner knowing becomes louder. You will feel a quiet authority rising within you, guiding your decisions, revealing what is right for you, and helping you walk away from anything that threatens your peace. Heaven is restoring your confidence, not the surface-level kind, but the deep-rooted, unshakable confidence that comes from spiritual awakening. Relationships in your life will begin to shift as well. Some connections will deepen because they were always meant to grow with you. Others will fade, not out of conflict, but because your spirit can no longer sustain energies that drain you. You will no longer have the desire to explain yourself to those committed to misunderstanding you. You will no longer shrink to fit spaces that cannot hold your growth. Heaven will surround you with people who match your frequency, honor your heart, respect your boundaries, and recognize the value of your presence. You are stepping into a season of divine connections, relationships that pour into you, not just pull from you. And child, there is more. Your new season will also awaken opportunities that once seemed distant or impossible. Doors will open without you knocking. People will recommend you without you asking. Paths will appear that you once believed were inaccessible. The reason is simple. Heaven has elevated your spiritual positioning. When your spirit rises, your life rises. When heaven approves a miracle, the physical world responds to that approval. The opportunities coming your way will not be random. They will be strategic, purposeful, and aligned with the destiny written for you. Archangel Michael reveals another truth you must understand. Your new season is protected. The warfare you experienced in your old season will not follow you into this one. The battles you fought were tied to who you were becoming, not who you are now. You have crossed a spiritual threshold, and because of that, heaven has placed a shield over your path that cannot be penetrated. You will feel a new level of peace surrounding you, not because everything is perfect, but because your spirit is anchored. You will feel a new level of strength rising inside you, not because you are forcing it, but because heaven is infusing it. Let me reveal something even deeper. You will begin to notice synchronicities, signs, confirmations, divine nudges, unexpected alignments. These will not be coincidences. They will be signals that you are being guided step by step. Heaven is not just blessing you, heaven is partnering with you. Your steps are becoming ordered. Your timing is being refined. Your choices are becoming clearer. Even moments that seem minor will carry divine meaning. You will start to see patterns in your life that reveal God's fingerprints everywhere. But perhaps the most beautiful part of your new season is this. The emotional heaviness that once defined your days will lift. You will wake up with lightness instead of fatigue. You will feel gratitude without having to force it. You will experience joy without fearing it will disappear. The emotional cycles that once controlled you will break. You will breathe more freely. You will move more confidently. You will rest deeper at night. Heaven is not just blessing your circumstances. Heaven is healing your spirit. Archangel Michael steps forward now with a message meant to seal this part into your heart. Walk boldly into your new season. You are not the same. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You have been prepared. These words carry weight, authority, and truth. They are the confirmation that your past has lost its power and your future has gained its momentum. Child, the next part will reveal the final unlocking, the culmination of everything heaven had been preparing you for. What you will hear next will complete the message that has been unfolding for you since the moment you opened this transmission. Type "I step into my NEW season" in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 9904 is now released over your life. Beloved child of destiny, come into this moment with your whole heart, because what unfolds here is the final revelation, the sealing of everything heaven hath been speaking over your life. You have journeyed through each word with an open spirit, and now you stand at the edge of completion, a divine completion that marks the end of your old season and the beginning of your blessed unfolding. As you read these words, there is a sacred heaviness in the atmosphere around you, a stillness that feels almost holy. This is not imagination. This is the presence of heaven drawing near. Archangel Michael stands in full radiance beside you now, not guarding the path behind you, but pointing toward the future that has already been written in your favor. His wings form a covering above your spirit, and his sword glows with the light of divine approval. You are not simply reading a message. You are standing in a spiritual decree being spoken over your life. Child, this is the moment where everything you have endured, everything you have hoped for, and everything you have prayed for begins to converge. The miracle approved for your life is no longer approaching, it is crossing into your reality. The shift is no longer coming, it is here. The breakthrough is no longer promised, it is activated. Heaven has moved. Heaven has spoken. Heaven has decided. And now your life must align with what has been released from above. Let me show you the final truth your spirit must carry. Your miracle is more than an answered prayer. It is a divine turning point. You will look back on this time in your life and say, everything changed after that moment. You will remember the heaviness you carried, the seasons you survived it, the nights you cried out for direction. And then you will remember the moment heaven interrupted your timeline and said, enough. Now it is time to bless them. The shift you are stepping into will not just bring relief, it will bring redefinition. The identity you formed in your wilderness will shed, and the identity God intended for you will rise. Archangel Michael reveals that the miracle coming before December 15th is not isolated. It is the first wave of a greater restoration. It is the opening that allows all other blessings to flow. It is the key that unlocks the next phase of your destiny. You are stepping into a season where progress will feel natural, where blessings will feel continuous, where clarity will guide your every decision. Heaven is not giving you a moment of breakthrough, it is giving you a cycle of breakthrough. But understand this deeply. You are no longer the person who walked through those dark seasons. You are no longer defined by heartbreak, by disappointment, by loss, by delay, by the mistakes you made when you were hurting. Heaven has rewritten your story from this moment forward. You are stepping into your life as someone chosen, someone protected, someone guided, someone destined. The confusion that once clouded you has lifted. The fears that once haunted you have been dismantled. The insecurities that once whispered lies into your heart no longer have authority over you. There is a new strength rising inside you now, a strength heaven placed there so that you can carry the blessings coming your way. You will walk differently. You will speak differently. You will choose differently. You will see yourself differently. And others will see the changes clearly as light breaking through darkness. They will sense the grace around you. They will notice the protection around you. They will see the glow of someone who has been held by heaven. Child, this is not the beginning of your transformation. This is the manifestation of it. Everything inside you that hath been shifting, healing, breaking open, rising, strengthening, lining, all of it has prepared you for this one season. Heaven never wastes pain. Heaven never wastes trials. Heaven never wastes tears. Everything you endured has become the foundation for what is being released into your life now. Archangel Michael whispers a final word into your spirit. Walk forward without fear. What lies ahead belongs to you, and it cannot be taken. These words settle like fire in your soul. They are the declaration that your future is secured. They are the confirmation that the blessing delivered to your life will not slip away, will not be delayed, will not be interrupted. What God approves becomes unstoppable. Now you must understand something profound. Your life is stepping into divine alignment. You will begin to attract opportunities, people, clarity, and favor that match who you are becoming, not who you once were. You are stepping into a timeline that reflects your calling. You are entering a season where your spirit finally feels at home. But before this message closes, heaven asks you to carry one final truth. This miracle is only the beginning. Once the first breakthrough arrives, more will follow. Once the first door opens, others will open. Once the first victory manifests, momentum will take over. You are stepping into a season where blessings flow, not trickle. Where clarity reigns, not confusion. Where peace lives, not just visits. This is your divine turning point. Child, hold this part in your heart. Heaven is proud of you. You endured. You grew. You stayed open. And now God is rewarding you openly for what you survived privately. Before we close this sacred moment, like this message so others can find their breakthrough, comment to keep the spiritual flow alive, share this with someone who needs divine hope, and subscribe so you remain connected to the words heaven is still preparing for you. Type "I receive my released miracle" in the comments if this message resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 1155 is now poured over your life. Beloved, as God releases this breakthrough into your life, understand that every seed you sow helps carry this same light into the lives of thousands waiting for hope. This mission is more than messages. It is a divine assignment to awaken hearts, restore faith, and guide souls back into alignment with heaven. When you support this ministry, you become part of that awakening. I speak this in first person so your spirit feels the invitation. I call you to stand with us as a bearer of light in this world. Every offering through Super Thanks, membership, with a PayPal link in the description becomes a spiritual seed that heaven multiplies. God says that those who sow into His work reap in abundance, and I decree that your giving in this moment becomes a prophetic act that unlocks favor, protection, and overflow. Do it boldly, for heaven remembers those who move when the Spirit calls.